Here we go. Getting that chiropractic adjustment. First thing we do is we do an evaluation process, and it's very interesting. I like to do, there's a lot of different methods, but I like to do a leg check. And so what I'm seeing here is that our left leg is a little bit short. When I bring it up into this top position, it stays short. And I know we're spine. There's a lot of, technically there's things I could do to really specify this leg check and dial into some areas, but knowing your spine, I'm able to go right to some areas I know that are patterns of misalignment that we're specifically working on. And so when I palpate, you can feel a little restriction in the joint, a little tightness, some increased muscle activity, which again are indicators that the spine's out of alignment and there's compromise to the nervous system. So we're gonna have you lay your left side up facing the chairs. And really one of the keys to a great adjustment is just getting someone in the right position and getting the joint that you're going to adjust into tension. And the adjustments aren't really aggressive movements. Some people get intimidated by it because they hear a noise or it looks like it's aggressive, but it's really not. So roll on in, little impulse right in that joint, good, and beautiful. And so that was perfect. And as you start to remove the misalignments in the spine and take the pressure off the nervous system, you literally see the legs begin to balance. We should have had you come up and check this out, because like now when I go to do that same leg check, her legs are perfectly balanced and they stay balanced in both positions. And even though I've been doing this for 26 years, every day, all day long, and I do that exact leg check with every patient, it still blows me away every single time how amazing the nervous system is and how the body responds to that. But when I get to show people and that are in the room that have never experienced that, when someone that they may have come in here with is getting adjusted, it just blows everybody away, and it happens every time. And so we cleared out that area. I know we're patterns again, so turn your head one way. And again, we've taken x-rays and analyzed those films, and we do scans, all these different methods of evaluating the spine. Turn your head the other way, and again, I'm back in the middle, feeling the muscle activity. And so this is a cervical adjustment, or adjustment of her lower part of her neck. Just let it relax. Again, it's all, and this is not a very aggressive amount of force. It's just getting the right position, just a little bit of impulse. And that classic popping noise you associate with chiropractic, let it fall. It's just gas that builds up in the joint, and there's just a release of gas. It's kind of like if you had a suction cup on a window and you go to pull it off, there's gas that builds up behind that rubber. Scoot down a little bit, and when you pull it off, it suddenly releases, and that's what the popping noise is. Tuck your chin all the way back, keep your chin tucked. Swing your legs around this way. Not a lot of force. And the cool thing is, it's like, I'll just, all ages, from newborns all the way on into people that are well into their 90s and beyond. And we like to say from cradle to grave. And it's all about influencing the nervous system. That's the only thing I really care about. I use the spine as a mechanism to get to the nervous system. And in the moment of every single adjustment, we're having an influence on the nervous system. And the science is clear. Even if a bone is a degree or a millimeter out of alignment, it's going to definitely impact the neurology at that level, and depending on the level of the spine determines where the nerves go to, what organs are becoming affected. And we know for a fact that when you do the adjustment and you influence the spine, you're also influencing the nervous system at that level. And the science is clear. It says that the heart begins to beat better if that's where their nerves are going to. The lungs breathe better, the thyroid works better, because there's a greater communication between the brain and the tissue cells, and the body begins to function and heal at a higher level. In fact, the neurology is so conclusive about this stuff these days. It's literally incredible. Now, most people associate chiropractic with feeling better and their symptoms going away, particularly neck pain and low back pain. And the reality is you could feel that as we start to take the pressure off the nervous system. That was the cause to the problem, the symptoms of the body's mechanisms to try to protect itself. And you could feel, and people come in here, they report that their neck feels better, they report that their low back feels better, the stiffness goes, you could feel those things, but what you can't feel is how the nervous system's being influenced in other ways. Like you don't feel your prefrontal cortex stimulated by 20% every single time you get an adjustment. And you don't feel the prefrontal cortex then having an influence on the vagus nerve and beginning to down-regulate chronic inflammation. And everybody knows that like chronic inflammation is like the root to all diseases of the new millennium, like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, autoimmune conditions. So when that vagus nerve begins to down-regulate, we now know that these chiropractic adjustments are having a greater influence than how you just feel, but really on how your body's functioning and healing. With every adjustment, your chances for cancer, heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions all begin to decrease and drop. It's all about getting the very system of the body that ultimately controls all function, health, and healing to be free of any interference and get your body to function and heal at a higher level and to become more vibrantly alive. And what we do in here goes way beyond just having an influence on the nervous system in the moment. When you're doing the right kind of chiropractic care over a period of time, and we do what we call corrective care, so we take x-rays on patients when they first start, and we take them after a period of time, and when you could show before and after films, we then know that we didn't just have an influence on the nervous system in the moment of the adjustment. Now the patient's walking around every day with an influence on their nervous system more globally, more permanently, and they're walking around every day with their body functioning and healing at a higher level. And then you know what, you remove the interference. Anytime anybody is symptomatic sick or they have a diagnosis, that means something's not working right within you. And since we know that the nervous system controls all function, health, and healing, that's the first place we should be looking at. And what we see and have seen over the last 26 years of being in practice is like just by this component alone, when we start removing pressure off the nervous system, then we watch people, again, their bodies begin to function and heal. We replace their dysfunction with normal function, health, and healing, and next thing you know, they're getting off one medication after another and reversing major dysfunctions and diseases, but they weren't supposed to be sick in the first place, right? And then once you get the life flowing across the nerves at a higher level, then you start teaching people how to eat better and exercise the right way, remove the toxic loads of exposure, the whole mindset thing. Now you're plugged into all the laws and principles that govern health, and you give yourself the best chance to become everything you're intended to be and reach your full complement. That's the chiropractic adjustment right there. All right.